Lobbies and Gentlegrams, April Fools to your favorite tool. Toronto's Teenage Fever Mutant Turtle, the teary-eyed tender Tinkerbell of trap music, the Taylor Swift Tyra Banks twin, Lobby the lullaby limp ladylike lawsuit slanging sexy red stunt double is back with beautifully bleak, blasphemous, basic, buzzkill, butchered music videos to be specific, to bombard the boundaries of the battle rap behemoth, the baby of Kenny Duckworth, the short-statured sharpshooting assassin, King Kung Fu Kenny. Now, if I end up titling this video something along the lines of Drake destroyed Kendrick with this new video, then let me just say in advance, April mother effing fools to all you crazy Toronto tools. Cause all this music video did was show us that Drake is obsessed with the man who defeated him. This is the sexy red stunt double Stockholm syndrome at its finest. You know, Drake talks about starting from the bottom, but now he is stealing from the top dog to be more specific. This song is called Nokia, but it should be called Not Like Us, but I'm trying. Like, Drake really saw the Not Like Us music video and said, let me make I'm Kinda Like You. Like, the whole world's chanting A minor, but Drake is like, let me take a major page out of Kendrick's notebook with this Nokia music video. So, Lobbies and Gentlegrams, we're gonna break down the entire music video, frame by frame, lame by lame, and show you how Drake completely ripped off Kendrick's game. First, like and subscribe so every time you log into YouTube, you see that beautiful rapaholic's name. Now, oh man, this guy just can't stop. You know, I suggest you watch my video called Drake Steals and Spirals with New Album, because the whole rollout for this project, everything about this project, is just Drake stealing from other artists, alright? If he's not stealing PARTYNEXTDOOR's bars, which, by the way, I mean, the one song that they're putting money behind and campaigning, Nokia, obviously PARTYNEXTDOOR is not on it. Send that man back to the sweatshop while you collect all the clout off your collab tape with him. Steal his hooks, steal his whole sound. I mean, the Weeknd won't let you do it. You might as well let PARTYNEXTDOOR get all his party music stolen. Then, I mean, the album cover was stolen from a local Toronto artist who shot a music video right behind the same towers on that album cover, and PARTYNEXTDOOR reached out to him saying he's a big fan, he wants to work with him. Next thing you know, they're jacking his whole aesthetic. And I'm not saying, you know, one artist owns those two buildings, but it's not just that. This album's called Some Sexy Sleepy Love Songs, and it's written like, as an acronym, $3. You know who else had an album that was titled $3? Freddie Gibbs. 2 years ago. But hold on, wait, his whole aesthetic was different, right? Like, he had those cartoon rabbits all over his album cover, all over his music videos. Yeah, well, right as Lobby releases this Nokia music video where he's copying every frame from Kendrick's Not Like Us music video, he also releases new merch for this album with cartoon rabbits and $3 all across the hoodie. So this album really shouldn't have been called Some Sexy Sleepy Songs for You. It should have been called Some Sleepy Stolen Songs for You. But anyways, let's get into this Not Like Us knockoff Nokia music video breakdown. So the ting starts off with a shot of the OV-Ho owl replacing the A in IMAX, implying that this thing was shot in IMAX. Basically, that's like a high quality version of filming something meant for like movie theater projections. I'm not sure why he filmed this in IMAX. If he's going to start playing this Not Like Us Part 2 music video in actual movie theaters, maybe there's like a whole mini movie that's going to accompany the music video that we'll get in the future. I don't know. I mean, if not, then it was kind of pointless to shoot this thing in IMAX. It's not really a movie. There's no real narrative to it at all, right? It's just a knockoff of Not Like Us. It's all filmed in black and white. And with this song being so nostalgic and reminiscent to that, you know, 90s era where Nokias were the biggest phones, you'd think, you know, this video would have more callbacks to that era, tap into that nostalgic feel. No, instead he just ripped off Kendrick's whole aesthetic. He's definitely ready for round 2 here. And so the first shot we get in the music video already knocking off Kendrick's N95 music video. So basically Drake is ripping off 3 things here from Kendrick: his N95 music video, his Not Like Us music video, and his Super Bowl halftime performance. We're going to break all of it down. But look at this shot here, right? So it opens up with Drake behind the OV-Ho Sound record label logo. Here is Lobby's shot, and here's the long-ranging, sharp-shooting, short-statured assassin shot in the N95 music video. In the next shot, you see Drake doing a handshake with someone, and doesn't this look eerily similar to Kendrick doing a handshake with Dave Free in the Not Like Us music video? I mean, this is like damn near the exact same handshake. And we know, I mean, obviously, Drake accused Dave Free of impregnating Kendrick's fiance and Kendrick raising Dave Free's child with his fiance. So Kendrick had both Dave Free and Whitney in the Not Like Us music video as an FU to Drake, show him that all that BS in Family Matters was complete cap. And Dave Free is the creative director of PG Lang. He does the visuals behind a lot of Kendrick music videos, the Super Bowl, etc. And this whole Nokia music video is basically biting the visuals that PG Lang has produced for many different projects over the last few months. Obviously the Super Bowl and Not Like Us. And it's funny because I also noticed on Drake's Australia tour, all of his outfits were like a horrible knockoff of what Kanye West has been wearing lately. Not the, you know, that costume there, the Kim Kardashian, Kanye, KK, you know, the rest costume, not that one, but the baggy pants, the charcoal black aesthetic, the chunky boots. But it's funny because Drake did it so poorly that Kanye West literally tweeted out saying that it was embarrassing that Drake was representing North American hip-hop in Australia with outfits like that. But yeah, biting all around, and you'll see an outfit that he wears later in the music videos, the exact same thing Kendrick wore in the Not Like Us music video. So let's keep it going. Oh, it actually comes up right now. He couldn't even wait until the middle of the music video to start biting Kendrick. So basically, the Not Like Us music video starts off with Kendrick previewing, at that time, the unreleased song Squabble Up, where he's walking through this dark hallway, flashing lights, and he's got this designer scarf wrapped around his head. Now, in the Nokia music video, Drake is also walking down a black and white hallway with a designer scarf wrapped around his head. Does it look familiar at all? And the thing that's going on in the background here is the Nokia mobile game. I believe it's called Snake. So at least he's paying some sort of homage to, Nokia's. But obviously it's also meant to represent, all the snakes slithering around him. Someone's got to remind the boy, it wasn't a 20v1, it was a 1v20 with all the Ghost Riders he has. But let's keep it going. So the next shot you have is Drake surrounded by a bunch of women who are wearing these carnival outfits, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. They got like peacock feathers tied to their back. I guess that's meant to represent, birds, like what is the owl, bird guys and bird girls. But it's also very similar to this exact same shot in Not Like Us, where Kendrick is surrounded by a bunch of people outside the Compton courthouse. But obviously when Kendrick does it, he's surrounded by, a bunch of people from his hometown, showing Drake he gets a lot more love in his city than Drake does. And of course, Drake is surrounded by a bunch of half-naked women. Because the whole defense of this mediocre, sleepy, lullaby love song album was that the critics wouldn't understand it. It was made for the women. The songs were for women. If you don't get women, you won't get this music. Drake is talking about, if I lose my spot at the top, are women going to be in the strip club twerking with dictionaries to try to understand Kendrick's double entendres? Like, I make music for the women. So while Drake is surrounded by a bunch of half-naked women, Kendrick is surrounded by a bunch of people from his hometown celebrating him. Hey, and then look at this. This might be a reach, but in the N95 music video, Kendrick is at a piano, and you get this upward shot of two women looking kind of over him. And then in the Drake music video, we see a very similar camera position where a woman is looking over him as Drake is surrounded by iconic buildings from Ontario. So you have the two towers there that were on the Sexy Sleepy Love Song album cover, and you got the CN Tower right next to Drake. Oh, and before we get any further, when he's doing that handshake, is that Tupac ring that Kendrick was talking about? The one that Drake bought at the auction that Kendrick said he wants back after Drake did that, horrible diss track with the Tupac AI vocals? Anyways, regardless of what it is, he watched that Squabble Up music video and saw that book, How to Be More Like Kendrick for Dummies. Drake also picked an interesting day to release this music video because 26 years ago today, on the day it was released, The Matrix was also released, probably shot on IMAX as well. And we know that on Gimme a Hug, Drake compares himself to Neo in The Matrix, trying to, fight the machine, fight the Matrix, while he compares all of his other peers in the rap game to Nemo in the ocean, basically, lost fish. But let's keep going on with this music video. But first, Lobbies and Gentlegrams, I want to tell you guys about something that, unlike Drake, a bunch of you guys have been telling me you've been, Anita Max, winning some free cash from playing mobile games. So I want to put all you guys on to something that almost seems too good to be true, all right? Let me give you a little glimpse into my life. When I'm not making this content for you guys, I have a disgusting addiction to my phone. My daily screen time is higher than Drake on that album cover, higher than Snoop off the edibles. So if you guys suffer that same addiction as me, I want to put you onto something that's going to change your life. FreeCash.com is a program that partners with mobile games that are looking for more users to play their games, and they will literally pay you to play their games for free. All you got to do is sign up using the QR code you see on the screen or using the link in the description of this video. You make an account super easy. All you got to do is put in your email, create a password, verify your email, and then you're good to go. And they got a bunch of games. My favorite is the Monopoly Go because we're always on the go trying to make some money. Once you make an account, you just click the game you want to play, follow the directions that they give you. The directions are super easy. Usually you just got to download the game and start playing. So it's about time you put that phone addiction to good use. Again, use the QR code you see on the screen or the link in my description. Create an account and you could start making more than $150 just to play a game on your phone. So it seems like this little part of the music video was supposed to be an homage to, his city, Toronto, which is nice to see, but unfortunately, even when Drake puts on his city, like, collaborating with PARTYNEXTDOOR, He leaves him off the biggest song off the album and doesn't even feature him in the music video, so you completely forget that PARTYNEXTDOOR was even associated with this project to begin with. But you most definitely don't forget the Kendrick association throughout this entire music video, so let's keep going on. So we get into the chorus of the song, which, on a side note, the song is listed as a solo Drake song. I'm sure this guy's credited in, you know, the songwriter credits and all that, but this song is most definitely a collaboration between Drake and some other artist who is doing the hook on both beats, because there's a beat switch, right? The first one is like, is it Keisha? Is it Akademiks? Like, there's that whole chorus, and then on the second part, the second beat switch, you get like the baby girl, let me see you do it, dance and twirl. That's not Drake singing either of those parts, and it's not a sample either. That's like a whole guest feature that he just didn't credit on the song. And he's also not crediting PG Lang for the inspiration behind the music video, but whatever. So the chorus kicks in, and for the first time, I believe, since his Hotline Bling music video, we actually get some choreography and some dancers in a Drake music video. Of course, he has to copy Not Like Us for this part, but it's refreshing to see some, you know, movement in a Drake music video. So you have him moving through this room with a bunch of dancers, and does this look familiar to you? Yeah, it might remind you of this. Make them richer, fast forward 2024, you got the same agenda. Or maybe even this. But hey, the one thing I'll give to Drake is that regardless of what Kendrick scene it reminds you of, Kendrick is not making faces like this. Then you got the next scene, which is two women rollerblading down one long platform, which looks exactly like the two women dancing on the long platform stage that PG Lang designed for the Pop-Out concert. And now that I think about it, Drake's whole Anita Max Win Australian tour stage design was very similar to this pop-out concert. Like, it was one long, narrow stage that ripped through the entire arena. And then you got some of the most blatant biting. You have this, like, aerial shot of a bunch of these dancers on this white platform dancing. And this looks exactly like the dancers during Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl. Like, the alignment, the camera angle, everything. Then you got a shot of Drake dancing with a woman, and I don't know, to me this looks exactly like the vibe that we're going for in the N95 music video. Let's look at them both back to back. Then you got an image of Drake wearing the LA Valley football sweater, which apparently are the rivals to the Compton College football team. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but Compton College was the first place Kendrick popped out at. After this whole battle ensued, he did a speech at their graduation ceremony, and I believe Drake also wore a Compton College sweater and posted a selfie of him wearing it on Instagram with his duck lips after Kendrick did that speech. Now he's wearing the rival sweater. Then we get this shot of the dancers, which is exactly like the Not Like Us music video. You caught Future when you didn't see the club. Then you got this shot of Drake next to the two ladies, which is exactly like Kendrick next to two ladies dancing during the Pop-Out concert. Then you got Canadian basketball player SGA making an appearance in the music video. SGA was traded from the LA team, the Clippers. Now he plays for OKC. So he's in the music video doing this. And now, doesn't that look awfully similar to D Rose in the Not Like Us music video? Same exact pose, same exact stare into the camera. And the parallels are kind of interesting. SGA being a Canadian and traded from the LA Clippers, D Rose actually played on the Canadian team, the Toronto Raptors, and was traded back to California. That's why Kendrick says, I'm glad D Rose came home. You guys didn't deserve him either. One California native, one Canadian native. Both of them played for California teams at one time. One of them traded from LA, who's making an appearance in Drake's music video, and one of them traded from Toronto back to California, making an appearance in Kendrick's music video. So you can see here, right? Like, these aren't just subtleties. These aren't just coincidences. Like, Drake is still taking this moment to ponder back on the beef. You would think, like, the one song he finally gets that's an actual organic hit that is completely removed from the beef, right? Because a lot of people thought the big hit off the album would be the song Gimme a Hug, where he talks about Kendrick, he disses Joe Budden, he disses basically everyone in the rap game, saying that if Drake is not at the top, girls will be twerking with a dictionary, things will be boring. That song didn't end up blowing up. It was this, you know, organic, viral, catchy dance hit. I actually didn't mind this song, but he kind of just muddied it by making the entire moment about Kendrick and calling back to Not Like Us. Touch on that later. Let's keep going on with the music video. So then you get this shot of Drake, which, hey, looks a lot similar to the N95 music video, doesn't it? And I mean, aside from like all the Kendrick references, aside from the choreography, which was kind of refreshing to see in a Drake music video, like overall, this thing is so boring. Like, I don't want to sound like a hater, but it's like, it's so bland and soulless. Like, you had this whole vibrant, nostalgic feel to this song, and you choose to do this black and white, very still heavy music video with just barely anything going on. Like, there's this whole part where, you know, Drake's second verse starts, and he's just walking up and down a blimp that says, "Where's the function?" But it's like, the blimp's not moving. Drake is just walking up and down. This is like a good 10 seconds of this music video where absolutely nothing is going on. And there's a bunch of different instances of this, but like, it's only entertaining because all of those instances are so similar to different Kendrick music videos. Are basically just like a cheap imitation of them. Then you got Drake texting on the Nokia flip phone, and it says, "Baby girl." And I mean, this could be in reference to a lot of things, right? I mean, obviously, Kendrick implied that he's into the A minors, right? So, baby girl, you know what that means. But also on Meet the Grams, obviously, Kendrick starts off the third verse saying, "Dear baby girl," implying that Drake has a daughter. This is obviously Drake poking fun at that, right? But simultaneously, indirectly, unintentionally making fun of himself, because Kendrick also said, you know, it's not just that you have a baby girl at home, it's that, you know, hide your little sister from Drake. Like, he's into the baby girls. Allegedly. It's all hyperbole, all right? It's UMG's defense. That's the one I'm going for, all right? Protect hip-hop, protect battle raps, protect diss songs. Not Like Us is just hyperbole. Then you got, you know, one of those outfits Kanye West was talking about that makes Drake an embarrassment to any global region if he's representing North American hip-hop. Because look at this fit. He's got a little doll attached to his jeans. He's got these, I don't know what type of boots these are. He's got this sweater full of crosses, and I mean, isn't he Jewish? Jews don't wear crosses, but we all know Drake is a little, you know, confused on his identity, to say the least. Anyways, then we got another shot of, you know, all these dancers lined up on this white platform, all dancing in, you know, separate lines, which is, again, the exact same look that we saw Kendrick do with all of his backup dancers at the Super Bowl. Then you got Drake in the middle of all these dancers, which is another callback to Kendrick. Here's Drake with the dancers, and then here's Kendrick at the Super Bowl, surrounded by all of his dancers. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The final scene of this video, the most obvious callback to Not Like Us. We know at the end of Not Like Us, really throughout the whole video, there was a bunch of different owl imagery, right? We saw Kendrick hitting the owl pinata, and then at the end, we saw an owl in a cage, and it zooms out and we see Kendrick staring at that owl trapped in the cage. Well, in the Nokia music video, the owls are back free. There's 6 owls, and they're all placed on what seems to be a cell phone tower or electrical poles. The point is that they're free, right? And in a way, symbolically, like, this song freed Drake from the chains that Kendrick put him in, right? Like, Drake is the numbers guy. He doesn't really care, or doesn't seem like he cares about his reputation. If he did, he wouldn't, you know, have a whole music video where he's biting another artist. He wouldn't be constantly biting artists throughout his entire career, never giving them the proper credit. He wouldn't be, there's a lot of things he wouldn't be doing for a check, you know? There's a lot of goofies with a check. Drake chases the check. This Nokia song put those checks back in his lap. This is an organic hit. It's still rising on the Billboard charts. I mean, it's not number 1. Kendrick's song Luther is, but it hit its peak this week of number 7. And I think it debuted at number 10. So it's slowly rising on the charts. People are gravitating towards this song. It's the first hit he's had since this entire beef ended. And I mean, it was looking dark for Drake for a while, right? Like, no one knew, you know, what his next move would be, if he'd be able to, you know, regain the love from the public that he had once before, if he'd be able to put out these hits as effortlessly as he was doing at one point. And I mean, he kind of did show us that, you know, he still could produce a hit when he wants to. Is it formulaic? Is it generic? Sure. But is it a hit? It definitely is. Numbers don't lie. So this is kind of like his liberation from the horrible stain that Kendrick put on his reputation, at least from a numbers perspective, from the chart perspective. So all these, you know, these 6 owls with him calling himself the 6th god, it kind of represents, you know, he's back free. The owl is free. But at what extent is he really free when he's still, you know, obviously mentally hung up on this beef? We saw leaked messages between Drake and DJ Akademiks' Big Mac minion, Grand Wizard Chat Guy, where basically throughout the beef, that guy was sending Drake a bunch of different like headlines related to the beef. He sent him when Rick Ross performed in Canada and his DJ got knocked out. He sent him Whitney's birthday since it fell on Mother's Day. And he also sent him a bunch of screenshots of the Not Like Us music video right before it actually released. I have a whole video breaking this down, but I found it interesting because a lot of the messages Drake chose to ignore. When the Big Mac minion sent him pictures of, Whitney's birthday. He ignored that. There was a couple other messages he ignored, but he most definitely did not ignore when they started teasing the Not Like Us music video. He was asking the guy, when did that come out? Who leaked that information? Where did they find that? When is it coming out? And it was a black and white still of Kendrick with Whitney and their 2 children to basically, show the world that all that BS Drake made up on Family Matters about Kendrick, raising Dave Free's kid and his kid not really being his, and him and Whitney, not getting along, not, being together, whatever the case is. He was showing in that picture that everything was all good. So obviously that kind of rattled Drake, and he literally used that one image from the Not Like Us music video to inspire the entire color scheme or lack of color scheme for this Nokia music video. It's all in black and white. Every shot, even these owls, look exactly like the same color pattern that we saw Kendrick and Whitney in the Not Like Us music video. And it's showing like he really can't let this go. He can't let that moment go. The owl was liberated, like he finally got that hit. Like at this point, he could still consistently release hits again because he showed and proved the world, or the world proved to him, that they'll still listen to his music. They'll still shoot his song up to, the top 10 of the Billboard charts. It might have been, kind of a hard climb up. Like it took Nokia definitely a couple weeks to get to where it got to, but organically it became a hit. And even with that, he can't move on, right? Like the song has nothing to do with Kendrick, nothing to do with Not Like Us. But the entire music video is a callback to the Super Bowl and the Not Like Us music video. And for what? Like, is it to troll Kendrick? Is it to say like, I could do exactly what you do? I might be not like you, but I'm kind of like you. Is it to show that like you're still hung up on this thing? Is this like your victory lap, your form of victory lap? I mean, you're not really even dissing Kendrick in this whole thing. You're really just paying respects to him. Like this whole thing looks like it was shot by PG Lang. All the visuals, all the stills, the dance moves, the choreography, the way all the dancers, the way you're placed throughout the different scenes and stuff. Like this all looks like a PG Lang production, which is crazy. It just shows that like Drake is just continuing his habit of biting people, but now he's going to go and bite Kendrick. And I mean, we saw this on this whole album too, right? Like he was biting Mexican culture, literally doing the most insane Mexican accent we've ever heard a Canadian English-speaking individual do. Like, it sounded like me when I was trying to talk to the locals in Cancun on my buddy's bachelor party. I don't speak Spanish, I don't try to, but Drake made a whole song speaking worse Spanish than I do, cosplaying as a mariachi singer. And it borders the line between, troll and someone just suffering an insane identity crisis. And at this point, it's like, what's it going to take for you to drop this beef, Like, everyone's talking about, oh, Kendrick is too hung up on it, right? Like, the Super Bowl performance had a bunch of sneak disses aimed at Drake. It wasn't really sneak disses. Like, he got up there and said, I want to perform their favorite song, but I know they're going to sue, or I know they love to sue. On a side note, is it just me, or, like, the owl's kind of cute? Like, this is a cute-ass animal. Like, is this supposed to make Drake look tough? Like, this is, like, the cutest little bird I've ever seen. And this whole moment could have shown the world that, like, you've moved on, right? Like, you could have told the world, Kendrick is the only one harping on this stuff. Like, the last callback to the beef was the Super Bowl halftime show. But then you dropped some sexy, sleepy lullaby love songs, and you had that song talking about, all the girls are going to be twerking with a dictionary, and you're Neo in the Matrix. Now you got this music video where you're biting the guy's whole sauce. And I believe this is the first music video we got from Drake, aside from No Face, which wasn't really a music video. It was kind of like a teaser for his new OVO clothing collection line. Aside from that, this is the first music video since Family Matters that we've got from Drake. And it's still a callback to the beef. Listen, I don't mind, right? Like, if Drake is ready for round 2, I'm ready to talk about it. You guys love it. I love it. If Kendrick wants to build up another casket for the crybaby Canadian, I'm all for it. I'm happy to see it. But what are you asking for here? And, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see Kendrick go on tour in the next couple weeks, right? Because he's doing a stadium tour with SZA. Obviously, there's going to be tons of choreography, tons of visuals. This isn't an arena tour. Like, for a stadium tour, you got to have the extra showmanship, the extra spice to it, the extra flair. So there's definitely going to be a lot of visuals there, right? Is it going to be related to this beef? Is this thing going to drag on all throughout the summer? Also, what was the point of shooting this in IMAX? Are you trying to show Kendrick like, oh, you could do bigger tours than me. You could do stadiums while I do arenas, but I'm doing movie theaters while you're premiering your music video on YouTube. And where's PARTYNEXTDOOR in this whole thing, man? Like, how'd you put that guy back in the sweatshop? And this was supposed to be his album. You could have at least put him on the remix or something. It's crazy. I mean, even on the tour, when you first released the album, you were talking about, I have a new album coming out, some sexy, sleepy love songs. Like, you couldn't even call it what it was, a collaboration album. And now you're collaborating with PG Lang, or, the Temu version of PG Lang to concoct this video. It's insane to me. Oh, and so he also released merch, right? I told you guys how he released a hoodie with the rabbit and the $3 signs on it, which was completely biting Freddie Gibbs. He also took a shot at Joe Budden on the song Gimme a Hug off this album, right? Where he said, Melissa Ford, the co-host of the Joe Budden podcast, saying, "You're a legend from the 6, you're a legend from Toronto. I hate to see you with a D-sucker," basically implying that Joe Budden, the guy who, she does the podcast with, is a D-sucker. Him and Joe Budden don't get along. So along with the rabbit sweater that was biting Freddie Gibbs, Drake also released a hoodie with Melissa Ford's picture on it. And on the back of the sweater, it says videovixens.ca. And if you look, apparently, that website link leads you to Joe Budden's Patreon for his podcast. So it's just a whole lot of trolling going on, right? Like, Drake obviously has not gotten over this entire situation. The entire beef still lives rent-free in his head. And even though the song has absolutely nothing to do with Kendrick and marks the first time Drake actually, liberated himself from that horrible situation that left an awful stain on his reputation, he's still finding a way to make callbacks to the beef almost a year after it happened. And I mean, on a side note, thank you guys for rolling with me, throughout this whole year. I mean, I told you guys on the video of the 1 year anniversary of that that verse marked the beginning of the Rapaholics channel. The first video I ever made was talking about how Drake would be stupid to respond to that verse. And, look what happened a year later, right? But yeah, thank you guys again for that. But what's also crazy is that the first video that actually did, real numbers on this channel was me breaking down the Not Like Us music video. And aside from, just being, immensely thankful for all the support that you guys have shown along the way, that Not Like Us music video was obviously a massive moment for everyone, right? It was a massive moment for me, for this channel, but also just for this beef in general. That was the icing on the cake, or the cherry on top, whatever the expression is. That really showed Drake, you are not like them, right? Kendrick had the entire city surrounding him. They shut down the whole city that day to record that video. He's popping up in iconic places within LA. Tam's Burgers. He's got DeMar DeRozan in the music video. Dave Free, Whitney, they're all there to dispel the rumors that Drake put out on Family Matters. Everything was shut down on that day with that music video. It also marked, the beginning of the rollout for GNX, because he teased Squabble Up at the beginning of the music video. And if Drake never filed that lawsuit, that damn near maybe would have been where the whole beef ended, with that music video, right? Maybe Kendrick never would have went on the Super Bowl stage saying, I want to play their favorite song, but I know they love to sue, if Drake never filed that lawsuit. And now we're here 6 months later. Every time Kendrick makes a move, Drake makes a more pathetic one. Kendrick drops GNX. Drake, the same exact week, drops a lawsuit. Kendrick does the Super Bowl. Drake goes all the way out of town to Australia to do the I Need a Max Win Tour and starts dissing Kendrick. LeBron saying that, the beef is live. He never died. A week after the Super Bowl, Drake drops, some sexy, sleepy lullaby love songs, and obviously is dissing Kendrick. I mean, he really is dissing Drake, because he's dissing himself. If he starts dissing Kendrick, he's asking for himself to get destroyed. But yeah, I mean, he took that whole moment, one of the songs without PARTYNEXTDOOR on that project is him just dissing everybody. And now he's back a year later, a song that finally took him out of that funk, that showed him that, he still has love from people. He's using it as a moment to reflect on the beef, not to reflect on, his collaboration with PARTYNEXTDOOR, not to reflect on his city, not to tap into the nostalgia that song had. Nah, he'd rather make this a Temu PG Lang directed music video. But hey, stay tuned this week. I'm about to put out a documentary about Doechii. We got, the 1 year anniversary of J. Cole's Might Delete Later and 7 Minute Drill, the first real diss song of this whole battle that was obviously deleted. So we're going to go through that whole diss track. I got a bunch of stuff for you guys, so let me know what you want to see in future videos. I mean, obviously, if this stretches into a round 2, which Drake is really asking for, I'll be the first one to report it. You could guarantee there will be a Rapaholics video touching on every single aspect of round 2. We also got, the Drake and UMG lawsuit going to court in the next couple days. So it'll be an exciting week. So stick around, turn that frown upside down, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
Also a great metaphor for life, that you should see everything through, because after 3 days of shooting, 2 weeks of editing, the biggest budget ever, it only took one person to press public instead of private. No, it's okay. But honestly, it's just it's an honor that I get to watch Theo's work on a screen like this, and yeah, we've been doing this a long time, And it's only right that we continue to evolve and continue to grow. Thank you to each and every one of you too. You'll see in this